Hi, my name is Kim Schutt, and this is my introduction video for Module 1 in EDL 850 School Law. So just some personal background information about myself. I am born and raised in Colorado. I've lived here my entire life. I kind of grew up in the Denver area, and then I moved north to Fort Collins and went to Colorado State University and graduated from there with my bachelor's in family consumer science education. I currently just finished my 8th year of teaching at Fort Collins High School. I've been fortunate enough to be at the same school every year, so the consistency's been great. I love the staff, the students, the culture of Fort Collins High School. And like I said, my degree is in family consumer science education, which I get a lot of questions as far as like what all that entails. We teach a variety of classes, some of which include, we have a really strong culinary arts program at my school. We also have a financial life management class. That's actually a state requirement that students have to take a financial literacy class in order to graduate. We also have nutrition, fashion design, interior design, child development, teen choices, which is kind of like a health and wellness class, sociology of relationships. We have a lot of different classes. So I love what I teach. Students are usually pretty interested, and it's real life skills that they need that they're sometimes not getting at home. I'm also a wife. My husband is also a teacher. We're fortunate enough to actually teach at the same school. This would be his 5th year at Fort Collins High School, so it's nice that we get to share summers together and just both have experience in teaching. I'm also a dog mom to a very spoiled chocolate lab named Oliver, which you can see in that picture. And then just in our free time, we love traveling. We actually just got back from our first trip to Europe. We went to Spain and Iceland in June, which was amazing. And then since we are lucky enough to live in Colorado, we have a lot of outdoor activities like camping and hiking. And like I said, just kind of traveling around the state. And then lastly, obviously, I am a student. I have about 4 or 5 more classes at Fort Hays State University, and then I will be done with this master's program. So I'm looking forward to this class. As far as just kind of a reflection on my school administration. Like I said, I've been fortunate enough to teach at the same school for 8 years now. We haven't had a lot of turnover in our administration, but next year will be a big change. Our current principal retired this past year, so we had to hire, obviously, a new principal, and then we have a decent amount of assistant principals and deans. They're very highly qualified. I work in Poudre School District, which is a fairly competitive school district for teachers and administrators. So I feel like they're very qualified. Excuse me, and then most of our administrators also have experience with teaching, which I think is also really important. I feel like my school administration has fairly open communication with the staff and community. I do feel like they could do a better job as far as the discussion around federal and state laws, maybe with like new teachers or at staff meetings. A lot of those conversations happen during the department lead meetings, which this would be my 6th year being a department lead, so I have maybe more experience with it than newer teachers or teachers who are not a department lead. So I feel like they could do a good or a better job at addressing it with the general staff population. I feel like we do a great job at adhering to district policies regarding, again, anything with like school safety procedures, IEPs, 504s. Our district motto is to educate every child every day. So I feel like we do a good job addressing the needs of individual students and making sure that those concerns are addressed first. We also have what's called the Pillars of Excellence, which I'll talk about in a later slide, but I feel like that helps to hold students accountable. But there are some areas that could be more consistent, specifically with our attendance policy. I feel like we've had some issues with that in the last couple of years. As far as my own personal knowledge, as far as school policies, I feel really comfortable, again, just because I've been there for a while. This last year was a little difficult. Again, I love our current principal who just retired, but it was kind of a rough year. We had a lot of new teachers, and then he was kind of checked out as far as it was his last year, and I feel like just from past experience in past years, it maybe wasn't run as smoothly. Like I mentioned in the previous slide, a lot of that was due to attendance policies that maybe could be more clear. In my content knowledge or in my content area, I get a lot of like child abuse or neglect reporting. So I feel really comfortable with like the school and district policies surrounding that. Field trips, I'm also an FCCLA advisor. So I feel really knowledgeable as far as school and district policies in regards to field trips. And then school safety, I feel like our school and really just our district is really ahead of the state as far as school safety procedures. We've had active shooter trainings. We have a lot of lockdown procedures and practices. So I feel really comfortable with all of that too. And then lastly, technology usage, as far as if maybe we're promoting anything through social media for clubs or sports. I feel really knowledgeable as far as that with district policies. As far as state and federal policies, I'm really familiar with like IEPs and 504s. I usually have a decent amount of those per year. So I work really closely with counselors and case managers with that. Otherwise, I'm not super familiar with state and federal policies, but if I'm ever unaware, I will ask questions when needed. So like I said, I feel like that's something that our school and administrators could do a better job at helping maybe newer teachers or even teachers who have been there for a while with getting familiar with state and federal policies. For plan of action, as far as what I can do, I strongly believe in being a lifelong learner by taking this class, finishing my master's program through Fort Hays State, and just continuing professional development, which my district offers a lot of professional development opportunities, which is really helpful. A goal that I would like to set for myself is to attend more Board of Education meetings. I've been to a couple, and I've watched a couple because they record all of them, but I definitely could do a better job at attending more of those. Like I said, asking questions if you're ever unfamiliar with something and then learning from your experience or mistakes. So just having that lifelong learner mentality. And then lastly, I think just the hands-on experience. In the last couple of years, I've immersed myself a lot more into like shadowing different administrators, being more comfortable asking questions. A lot of it has to do with, again, being in this master's program. But I think it's important to just really start to pay more attention to how administrative duties work around the school. And then not only just in my school, I think it would be nice to kind of get out to other schools within the district or even in outside districts to shadow other administrators, just so you see different perspectives. And then lastly, just connect with district level personnel. Like I said, we hired a new principal, and I was fortunate enough to be on the principal hiring committee for our new principal for next year, which I was able to work with like the assistant superintendent and other district level personnel this past year, which I learned a lot from that experience. So just keeping active, asking questions, and making sure that you're really trying to immerse yourself in those opportunities. So thank you for listening. I look forward to this class. I know there's a lot that I still need to learn, so I'm excited. Thank you.